Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Soumya Sudi here to explain you about today's topic, that's a phosphorus cycle. So, what do you mean by phosphorus cycle? Let's begin it. So, the phosphorus, it's a chemical element found on the earth in a numerous form, such as phosphate ion, which has been located in soil, water and sediments also. So, what's a phosphate ion? It's a major ion found in the phosphorus where it plays an important and a prominent role in the phosphorus cycle. So, let's start the phosphorus cycle. Students, what's a phosphorus cycle? It's a biogeochemical. As I've already explained in the previous video, what's a biogeochemical? It's a biologically, geologically, and chemically cycle process that involves the movement of phosphorus through the series of cycles such as lithosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere of the earth. So this is the exact definition of the phosphorus cycle. So the next, what's the importance of this phosphorus cycle? So it plays a very vital role in a biologically way in all the living organism. So it forms a significant role in formation of structural framework. As our DNA, it's a double helical structure where it's all linked by a phosphor ester bond. So you have learned it a molecular base of inheritance, and even calcium phosphate is also the primary component of human bones and teeth. So teeth and bones are made up of calcium phosphate. So here calcium phosphate is the primary component for the composition of our bones and teeth. So even phosphorus plays a critical or a crucial role in the formation of like biological membrane, nucleic acid, and in the formation of a cell development, and in cellular energy transfer system such as ATP, ADP, and even a majority of phosphorus, about nearly 80% of phosphorus is being found in our bones and teeth. So mammalian bones and teeth are made up of about 80% of phosphorus itself. So next, what's the steps are being involved in this phosphorus cycle? Majorly, there are mainly 4 steps. So the first one is weathering, second one absorption by plants, third one absorption by animals, and the fourth one is the return to environment by decomposition process. So what is weathering, what is absorption by plants? Let us learn in the next slide. Okay, so students, look after here. What's a weathering? So let's start with the what's the main source of phosphorus is been found. The majority of the phosphorus is been found in the rocks itself. So you may say here as rocks are the natural reservoir of the phosphorus, and these phosphorus are being majority extracted from rock itself by means of what? Weathering process. So what's the word weathering means? Weathering is the breakdown of the earth crust, that is rocks, into the smaller fine particles through the naturally or natural calamity. This is the term what indicates weathering one. So where by weathering process these phosphorus are in the form of a phosphate ion. When rocks undergo the weathering process, some phosphate salts are being washed from a ground into the soil. So this is the weathering process. So we may look after the here weathering and erosion. Both the process takes place while in the phosphorus cycle. Okay students, what's a weathering? It's a breakdown of the material of earth crust into the smaller pieces. And erosion, it's a flowing of the soil from rocks. The phosphorus flows into the soil. So the next is absorption by plants. What's plant? Plant depend upon the phosphorus also for its growth and development. The phosphate salts which are being dissolved in the soil solution are being absorbed by the terrestrial plants, whereas aquatic plants absorb the phosphorus from lower layers of water bodies. So land, that is terrestrial plants, absorb the phosphorus from the soil solution, whereas aquatic plants absorb from the water bodies. So since phosphaten does not completely dissolve, okay, so this affect the plants to extract the plenty of phosphorus in a what's aquatic plants only. So in pond, lakes and all, aquatic plants develops very quickly than the terrestrial plants. So aquatic ecosystem can absorb lot of phosphorus from the water bodies. So you may see here absorption by plant slide. So next is third step. What's that? Absorption by animals. So animals act here as a primary consumers which feed upon plants for the survival process. So animal absorb the phosphorus by consuming plants as their food material. So where you may see the case of the pyramid, that producers, consumers, that is primary consumers, secondary consumers, decomposers. So these all are the pyramid way where you have seen in your class, I think. So here where the rate of the phosphorus cycle is much more faster in plants and animals as compared to the rocks. So you may see the slide here, absorption by animals. The cow is eating the grass here, where it's a consumers and grass is the primary producers. So the last one step is return of phosphorus back to atmosphere. So when these plants and animals die, death is eventually for all the living organism here. So when they die, they are being decomposed by the small microorganism. During this process, the organic form of phosphorus is being converted into inorganic phosphate ions. So this is being recycled to water and soil again, and the algal releases the phosphorus by weathering again. Again the same process continues. So this all completes and involved in the phosphorus cycle. So you can look here the phosphorus cycle where animals feed upon the plants. Plants and animals, they both die. When they die, the small microorganism decomposes. Again it releases back to the soil or the river or some of the water bodies. Again it is been continued here. Again weathering takes place. So you may see here phosphate in the soil, phosphate in the solution, then weathering of phosphate from rocks. When these plants and animals die, they are being decomposed and it is being postponed to the phosphate in soil itself. Again weathering takes place, so the same cycle continues again and again. So it's a simple one. See here, first one is the rock minerals. It undergo weathering process, so it converts into the soil solution. Again it is taken off by the producers firstly, then it is consumed by the consumers. When these producers consumers die, they undergo the detritus by the decomposition process. Again it come back to the soil solution and it's run off by erosion process. So I hope you have clearly understood, students, what's a phosphorus cycle. It's a simple way to understand what's a phosphorus cycle. I have been explained you clearly. I hope it's so. So if you like my video, please subscribe, and if you understood clearly, please give a like for my video, and please share with your friends, which enhance to share the knowledge for future one. Okay, thank you students, thank you one and all.